Good morning. How are we today? Well, as you can see, this is the back of the head of Mr. Boots. Yep, it says rotate your device. You can't turn your phone on properly. There you go. I'm getting little messages coming up. Anyway, here's Mr. Boots this morning saying hello. Hello there, fella. Over there's Brian, fast asleep. He had a good night on the tiles last night. And then over there, we've got Domino again. He's having a bit of a kip as well this morning. And old Boots, he likes to pad. The only problem when he pads, he uses his claws. Right, okay. Let's have a look. Just to let you know now, I have discovered the secret of uploading my podcast here onto my YouTube account, onto DJ Ginge Coldwell there on YouTube. So you can get these also on YouTube. I'm going to regularly put them up. I also put up until I think it was the 28th of September. I put those up online yesterday. So if you want to trawl through all of those, really the reason they're up there, it's just easier for me to cross check stuff and information that I may have said, and then I can just go straight to that source to find it. And it's just kind of handy that if you want to follow a storyline or something like that, you're able to do that by going into YouTube without having to scroll all the way down on Facebook to find a particular day that you're looking for. Once again, thank you to those people that have subscribed already to the YouTube. Also, the nice thing on the YouTube, I do have some of my music video mixes on there. If they've not been too heavily censored, because the thing about YouTube, it does heavily censor like Facebook censors, depending on the license that you have. And at the moment, I've only got the basic license. So, but Mixcloud obviously does allow you to listen to whatever I do in the way of my music stuff without any censorship at all, because I bought the license for that. Just to let you know, I am going to probably be doing a semi-rebroadcasted show from 34 Bar. I basically record it here, go down to their bar, and then broadcast it live. So the content isn't me doing it live. It's basically a recording of me doing it here at the house. And then what will happen then, it'll go out online, video and music, and obviously through Mixcloud and through Facebook before it gets dropped on Facebook. And then hopefully up to Mixcloud as audio for you to listen to you like. Right, so what's been going on here in Zakynthos? Well, there's been a lot going on. First of all, I'm going to start as I normally do. I made a bit of a mistake today in my preparation. I have sort of got me pages out of sync because I went to what I thought was a blank page, not realising that, no, that's a page you'd left intentionally blank. I should have put a line across it. And so I've got things all over at the moment. So anyway, let's crack on with it. Right. Oh, yeah, I just want to say a quick hello to my brother as well, Simon. He's taking my mum to the hospital tomorrow. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. Can I just say again hello to everybody in Margate at the Green Gables nursing home. And thank you once again to the lovely lady, I think it's Susan Neal, who's been doing the hands thing. So if you go to Facebook, you can go there, have a look on their Facebook page at all the hands, and each set of hands tells a story, which I think is really, really lovely. And it's a nice idea for anybody else who may have the same parents in a nursing home somewhere. See if you can get the staff to take some photographs of hands and write a little bit about those people that are in lockdown still, because my mum's been in lockdown since the 17th of March, and the only time that she's been out has been either for one day when it was her birthday, they allowed a special visit for her, and the other times that she's been out, it's only to go to the hospital, etc. So again, that's pretty tough for the older people in the nursing homes. Right, let's get back to the news here. Right, first of all, a quick look at the COVID cases. Since yesterday, there's been 303 new cases. 59 of those cases are associated with known cases. So those people who don't understand what that means people who come into contact with somebody that they knew, either a family member or somebody that they might have been working with, etc. 25 of those new cases are from ports of entry. All right, people coming on holiday, passing through airports, or coming through Piraeus, the port here, and they've been tested and they found to be positive there. At the moment, in the ICUs, people on ventilators, at the moment it stands at 83 people that are in there. Yesterday we had 8 deaths here in Greece. That means the average age of those people was between 78 years of age. They all had underlying conditions and other related illnesses as well. So our condolences to the families of those people. Just out of curiosity, 2 of the new Corfu, nothing here in Zakynthos, thank God, and 167 cases in the Attica region, which is the area that's been quite heavily hit with the infection rates at the moment. Once again, should be looking at deaths, not at infection rates. And again, our deaths number has been slightly going up, although they are small in comparison to other locations around the world. A local... Oh, yeah, that's another thing as well. The local press also announced that just because the tourist season is nearly finished, it doesn't mean that the local law enforcement guys aren't out booking people. It was reported today that last Thursday, Laguna, while doing their checks up in that area, the police were doing their checks. They caught a business that was still open after midnight. That business has been fined €10,000 and also had 3 days of closure imposed upon it. So, yeah, they're still going around collecting money from businesses that are flouting the rules that are here at the moment, which are still in force just because tourism seems to be dying away. Rules have changed, actually. Right, more details about Sunday's fire. It has emerged that the fire itself, which was I started talking about yesterday, but I didn't have a full story, just only the breaking headlines of the story. Yeah, there was a big fire up in Volimes, and the fire was located around the area, a forest on top where the shipwreck is located. The fire got very, very serious, that reinforcements were sent from the mainland, and they actually arrived on the last ferry out of Kalini to Zakynthos, bringing with them extra equipment and that to fight the fire, along with, believe it or not, the general in charge of the Greek fire service. He also came along as well. I've got his name here. The head of the Greek fire service is Lieutenant General Kolakouris, I think it's how you pronounce it. He came along to the island again to supervise some of the firefighting that was going on there. It was made difficult, the firefighting, by the fact that where the fire had taken hold, it was in a very inaccessible location, which was difficult for the firefighters to get into. You may remember yesterday I reported that 6 aeroplanes plus also 2 helicopters were involved in putting out the fire. They spent most of yesterday dampening down the fire, worried that there may, be another swell up of the fire. Also remember as well, the fire, when it broke out, it was gale force 8 winds were blowing as well at the time, which just fueled the fire. Luckily, no one was injured. No homes were damaged by the fire as well. And this morning I was reading an interview that the president of the Volimes community, he's like the mayor up in that location, Mr. Nikos Theodasis, was talking to Hermes News about his feelings about what the fire has meant to the people in the Volimes area. First of all, he was upset that the fact that there had only just been a fire there in 2009, which had done an incredible amount of damage, and that the forest area was just beginning now, after 10 years or so, to actually recover. And so, therefore, for the fire to come back again has basically undone all that work of recovery. Not only that, he was adamant that the fire was no accident. And he says, looking at the location where it started, 300 meters from the road, he said that with the windy day, he says he is adamant that this is an actual arsonist act. Again, the fire authorities will probably be investigating that and checking on that. But this is what the president of the municipality for Volimes is saying, that he feels that it was arson. He said, even though the area is an area of, shall we say, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an area where there's already controversy surrounding it in regards to the sale of the land to the Sheikh of Qatar and the legal implications going there. He doesn't believe that it is anything to do with financial dealings, but he believes that the fire was set by basically somebody of a sick mind. Those are his words, who basically started the fire. And he's highly suspicious of what has gone on. He says our main aim now is to basically get the area safe for visitors who go up to that location to go and see the shipwreck from there. No word as to whether the road is open up there or not, or whether you can still get up to go see the shipwreck from the observation post. No word as to whether the observation area is the actual little viewing point is still safe. Or whether any damage was incurred to that. But that is what's going on at the moment. So at the moment, the fire investigation people are continuing their investigations into the fire. And it's something I do have to add. We do have arsonists here on the island. They are normally known to the authorities. This is not the first time that people, certain times of the year, they want to go and watch the flames dance. And basically, yeah, just because, again, the season has ended doesn't mean these people are not out and about trying to cause more trouble. More information on the deal that Microsoft announced yesterday. Basically $1 billion or euros of investment here in Greece. And more detail is coming out about what they're offering. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit of a skeptic on this, and I'm going to give you my reasons why. First of all, they are planning to build 3 data centres around the Greater Athens area. And these data centres, according to the head of Microsoft that was here with the Greek Prime Minister who announced together, these are going to be for training for 100,000 government and private sector workers. No mention of jobs, to be quite honest, in everything that they've talked about. Yes, you're going to build 3 great data centres. Yes, you're going to be running training for 100,000 people, but no mention about the amount of jobs and work that it will bring. Obviously, there'll be work for the building industry to put all these data centres together. To be honest, data centres have been a controversial topic on mainland America. A lot of towns who were going to get these data centres kind of backed out of the deal because, one, they didn't like the ethics of it, and 2, they were seeing that they weren't actually bringing much employment in the real terms. Initially, there would be employment for building, etc., etc. But when it comes to the administration and the running of these centres, normally very highly skilled workers were being sourced from outside of the location where these centres were to be put in. Plus, as well, looking at the cost that the Microsoft are going to invest in Greece at 1 billion euros, it's actually quite a small amount in comparison to money that has been offered to other locations in America, where up to as much as $10 billion has been put into there to actually put one of these places in. So anyway, we'll keep our eyes open on that. It will have a knock-on effect, that it will encourage more people to come and actually invest from the United States. We're already starting to see that already. Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State for the US, has been quite heavily involved behind the scenes in this deal as well. So he's like Trump's number 3 man. He has also been whizzing in and out because of the saber rattling that Turkey's been doing in the Western Mediterranean. Greece is now being seen as a good ally for America. And these data centres have also been rather controversial in the storing of sensitive information as well off American shores. away and out of American jurisdiction in regards to privacy laws, etc., etc. And also Google was offered a contract to actually run a data center, the whole thing for the Pentagon, at $10 billion, and they actually refused the contract because they said it wasn't within the realms of their ethnabilities. Is that a word? Ethnabilities, that they felt that they could actually do it as well. So to be honest, I've got a feeling it's going to be interesting, and we're going to keep our eyes open. €1 billion investment into Greece is a fantastic thing. Being able to bring in private investment outside of Greece into the country, knowing that there's going to be obviously shackles removed from people who've always tried to run business here in Greece, where the government really does grab you and you do it the way that they want it done. You can't run a business the way you'd like to run it. Maybe a lot of those shackles have been released to enable investment to come in to the country. It's interesting also as well to see that France is also getting heavily involved in Greece at the moment. The ACU Energy Consortium, they are now planning to implement a programme of another €1 billion over 5 years, investing in solar energy, renewable energy, photovoltaic tiles as well, and also solar panels specifically for agricultural use. They've also signed another deal where they've taken over 3 wind parks in Pella, and that deal itself has been about €150 million. So again, there's a lot of investment that is now coming over to Greece, and hopefully we're going to see some of the benefits of that, although I think some of it is controversial, and we'll just have to keep our eyes and ears open to see how things will pan out in the bigger picture. Also as well, another reason that Mike Pompeo was over here in Greece quite a bit over the last few weeks is because the Turkish had purchased new missiles from the Russians, and they were practicing their missiles, basically tracking F-16 fighters on exercise in the Western Mediterranean. And because they'd switched their radars on to track them, this was seen as a hostile act. And again, obviously, everybody just prodding and pushing to see how far they can go before there's some kind of reaction. But at the moment, yeah, things are very, very tense at the moment down in the Western Mediterranean with Turkey. And again, that doesn't get enough said about it in other mainstream media areas in Britain or wherever. Everybody's looking at COVID all the time, not looking at the activities within the Mediterranean. And also, interestingly enough, France has said where it stands. Germany said as where it stands in regards to Greece as an ally. Also, America has said where it stands as an ally to Greece. However, nothing from the UK government at all on the way that they feel about relations, if anything should kick off in the Mediterranean. No word from Boris at all. No even passing words of support to say if anything untoward went on in the Western Mediterranean, that Britain would stand behind Greece. Obviously, they're taking it for granted we'll do that, got to be honest. However, a word would be nice, but not even a word. It's been all COVID, and focus on that rather than what's happening here in Greece. Right, okay, let's have a look and see who's tuning in at the moment. Thank you for all those people tuning in. Have you with us, going to give you a wave back. John David Hester, thank you for tuning in, going to give you a wave back as well. You may notice I'm on my tablet today, so the picture is bigger. I'm going to have to start using the tablet more because it looks better when you watch it on YouTube. Ian Daly, nice to have you with us as well. John David Hester says, morning Ginge, hope you and Jane are well. Thank you, we are. Raphael Petrus is watching as well. Hello, Raphael. Where are you? Oh, I should have to check you out, find out where you are. Nice to have you joining in. Lynn McCall are in over there as well. I just had a comment there, which I'll come to in a minute. It just made me smile. Lynn McCall is watching. Also, Lynn McCall says, good morning. Michael Wood is watching as well. Nice to have you here, Woody. Tracy Jones is watching too. Nice to have you here. Marie Bailey is watching as well. Gail Marsden is watching. Nice to have you, Gail. Aaron Vardy, my old mate, is there watching as well. Thank you for your comments yesterday about investment in Greece as well. Yes, we're all keeping our eyes and ears open as to see how the investment will work out, as I've already said this morning. And I'll give you a wave back as well, Aaron, ex-RAF Reg buddy. Hilary Rogers is also watching. Lovely to have you with us as well, Hilary. George McFarlane says, morning, Ginge, from George Shona. Canny, we're till next year. Obviously, they're excited by obviously coming back here on holiday. Hope we're all still here next year with the way things are going at the moment. So, Raider Pete Dillon is watching as well. Kate Armstrong is watching as well. Nick Haviland is watching. Nice to have you here, Nick. Sue Dixon is watching as well. Also, Aaron Vardy says, you watch the Russians take an interest in those data centers and they will only be too interested in stealing data and information contained in these centers. Yeah, you've got a good point there, actually, Aaron. I was actually doing some research on the data centers as well. And as you know, data centers have always been racked in controversy about leakage of information. Some of the leakage is good. WikiLeaks, 100% agree with WikiLeaks. I feel sorry for Mr. Assange at the moment, on trial in the UK. Again, mainstream media not saying anything at all about Assange. Assange is being stitched up, and hopefully he will not be sent to America, because he's looking at 175 years in jail, and all he did was reveal what wrongdoings were going on within the administration of Obama and also Trump as well. At least Trump, you know what's going on because you can see it's in the open. But with Obama's administration, it was a lot more secretive, and Hillary Clinton a lot more secretive. But let me digress. All right. Penny Draper, you're watching as well. Nice to see you there, Penny, as well. Also, Tommy Burns, nice to have buddy there. Gail Marsden, she says, I wouldn't expect anything from our government at the moment. As you said, it's all COVID. Thank you for that, Gail. I'm glad you agree with that, because I must admit, at times throughout the summer, things down in the Mediterranean were getting so hot, and everybody's there booking their holiday to go over to Turkey. And I'm thinking, my God, Turkey and Greece, actually, when you think about the COVID situation, actually had it really good, because they were two of the lowest locations for COVID infection. And we were expecting to do great guns on the tourism trade, because Spain had shut down. Other locations in the Mediterranean had been closed. And we were expecting actually to do good trade, picking up holidays, which we did to a degree, from people who would normally have gone to Spain. But it just didn't seem to happen. And all the saber rattling that was going on down in the Mediterranean, that at the time was much more of a fear than I would say the actual COVID virus was. Anyway, nice shout out to Barry down there in Essex. Nice to have you as well, tuning in. Gary Eden, old Gaz Eden. I think I'm trying to remember if Gaz lives over in Cyprus, but I'm not sure on that. Just remind me, Gary, whereabouts you live. Again, ex-RAF Reg buddy. Barry as well, another Barry. Les Hardman, old Les Hardman. Nice to have you there. He's used to work with me, the RAF Reg. I always remember that story you told me about your first day in the RAF Reg. That's another story, by the by. Also, Mike Ryan, one of my old bosses. Nice to have you here, sir, tuning in as well. Again, a really interesting character. And nice to have you there looking in as well, sir, from wherever you are in the UK. Right. Anybody else? That seems to be it at the moment. So, what are my plans for today? Well, no real plans for today, really. I think just cleaning going on. I am going to try and do a show, I think, today, record a show, and then tomorrow basically do my little camera for you, and then I'm going to pop down to 34 and then rebroadcast the show live using their internet connection, which is a damn sight better than mine. And obviously you then get, hopefully, the music and the pictures. And if you can't sit around to watch the pictures and hear the music at the same time, it will get uploaded to Mixcloud, where you can then watch it there. The only problem is I can't stream directly to YouTube anymore using the medium that I use, because for some reason the companies have decided to part ways. So YouTube, and also YouTube again heavily censor as well, where at least Mixcloud doesn't heavily censor and you still get the pictures of the music. Right, that's it from me. Weather today, it's not too bad, a bit muggy, a little bit misty as well. And it'll probably brighten up like it did yesterday. And I will see you tomorrow. You take care. Have a great day wherever you are. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Ta-ra.